Silky smooth hair is extremely easy to get if you know what you're doing. The problem is everyone and everything on the market promises silky smooth hair, but 99% of them are lying. Luckily, I've spent the last 10 years of my life figuring how to get long-lasting silky smooth hair, even in the Florida humidity, and I've discovered some really useful hacks you won't find anywhere else. So ignore the gimmicks and flash. Here are 7 easy hacks you need to get silky smooth hair, starting with the most important one. To get silky smooth hair, you need to understand how it actually works. You need to know that the outside layer of your hair, called the cuticle, is actually a bunch of overlapping scales. And the way to get silky smooth hair is to make that outer layer of each hair strand super smooth. The thing is, it's not that easy because a lot of the time they get dry, damaged, and lift up because of bad products and bad hair habits. And those lifted scales are actually hair damage. More than half of women in America, 57%, have hair damage. But before you can even start thinking about getting silky hair, you have to repair your damage first. When most of my clients hear that, they're like, cool, I'll just grab like a repair shampoo. But no, that is not what you want to do. Repair shampoos are 2-in-1s in disguise. They're pretending to be normal products, but they're no better than the 2-in-1 your teenage brother uses for shampoo and body wash. You always want to stick to your shampoo soulmate. Do not cheat on it with a 2-in-1 repair shampoo that does a terrible job repairing your hair and a terrible job getting your hair clean. Instead, we're going for separate products here that's made specifically to repair your hair, like this Redken pre-shampoo intensive treatment. You'll get 10 times better results and you'll get them 10 times faster by using this. Use it once a week before you wash your hair. You'll notice the difference the very first time. But more importantly, after a month or 2, your hair will be fully repaired, meaning most of those scales that were sticking up are flattened out and silky smooth. This will get you about 70% of the way to the silky smooth hair you've always wanted. But to get to 100%, you're gonna need more advanced stuff. So now your cuticles are nice and healthy, but they're like those little minions that are always causing chaos because they're naturally always trying to lift up on you and not be smooth. So you have to learn how to keep them in line. And one of the easiest and best ways to do that is by using a leave-in conditioner as your base. And by base, I mean that this has to be the very first product that goes on your hair after you wash. It always needs to be leave-in conditioner first, because if it isn't, you're just gonna lose. This is the first rule of Hair Club. Shampoo, conditioner, and leave-in conditioner are the most important products in hair care. But most people don't have any idea how important this is, and they also don't know what the word conditioner literally means, which is to improve the surface of something.
Thanks, Webster.
As you spray this on your hair after your shower, it instantly improves the surface of your hair by sealing and smoothing all those cuticle minions. So if you're skipping this as your base product, you basically hate having great hair. Why are you watching this video if you hate having great hair? Anyway, this will bump you up to about 80% silky smooth, and now it's time to style. There's a huge mistake here that a ton of women make that gets their hair dull and frizzy, and they have no idea that they're even doing it. I was talking to a client the other day that we'll call Olivia. She goes, Chris, my whole life, I thought I was bad at styling my hair. But with that tip you gave me, it comes out great now. It'd been a few months, so I asked her, which tip are you talking about exactly? She said, you told me to stop leaving my hair up in a towel and style it right after I got out of the shower. And I'm like, oh yeah, that does make a big difference. Because when your hair is up in a towel, it's air drying. And when your hair is air drying, you have no control over what it does. Your cuticles are lifting and doing whatever the heck they want, and each strand of hair is all weird and messy inside the towel, and it's gonna keep whatever shape it air dried in. It's kind of like how with heatless curls, you put damp hair around that noodle thing and it keeps the curl as it dries. You're letting your cuticles lift and do crazy things and locking your hair into that towel shape every second you walk around like that. There's actually a minus 20% silky smooth penalty.
Penalty?
If you make this mistake, but believe it or not, there's actually a way to style that forces your cuticles to lay flat. Now, you may be thinking that because we started out by repairing your hair, we're gonna do some woo-woo, holistic, wellness, ethically sourced whatever, but no. We're gonna go straight to the heat. And my clients are always shocked by this. They're like, I thought heat was bad. I thought we were never supposed to use heat. And this is while they're currently sitting in a salon chair having heat used on them at that moment. Every time you go to your stylist, they're gonna use heat. This happens all over the country, all day, every day, for a very long time. So you have to ask yourself, are stylists part of a grand conspiracy to ruin everyone's hair by using heat on it?
Yes. Yes, they are.
No, they use heat because it looks amazing and does zero damage to your hair if you use common sense, aka using a heat protectant and waiting at least 3 days before you use heat again. So why does heat have such a bad reputation? It's actually because of bad stylists. A while back, I had a new client that we'll call Cindy come in. She had just moved to town and she had a bunch of highlights. When it came time to blow dry her hair, she's like, I really shouldn't be doing this. My old stylist said it causes a ton of breakage. And she actually did have a ton of breakage, but there was a pattern to it. Her hair only had breakage in the places where she had highlights. Her stylist had damaged her highlights by over-processing them, didn't know how to fix it, and then blamed Cindy for the damage, saying that she was heat styling too much. So I go, hey Cindy, have you noticed that you only have breakage on your highlights? She looked at her hair and she's like, hey, wait a second, you're right. I said, if the breakage was from heat, you would have breakage everywhere, but you only have them on your highlights because your stylist bleached them for too long and damaged them. And this is extremely common. Stylists get distracted because they're texting or something, they lose track of time, and when your hair breaks off because of their mistake, they blame it on you. This is just common practice in the hair industry. Tons of women get bad color jobs with tons of breakage like Cindy. But these bad stylists get to keep their clients by convincing them that they're the problem and that if they had just stopped heat styling, then everything would have been fine. Don't fall for this. Blow drying and iron work is a key part of getting your cuticles to lay flat and silky smooth. Leslie would literally never have silky smooth hair without both. Heat styling will get you to 90% silky smooth hair.
It's not enough, Chris. 90% is not enough.
And by the way, if you need help picking out heat protectants or any product, check out my recommended product list in the description. It has a hair type quiz and we'll walk you through everything. So we got the 90% with styling, but products also play a key role. A ton of people ask about shine sprays. Like, can I just spray something in there that does it all for me? No, shine sprays are some of the worst products on the planet. You should never use a shine spray if you have access to my videos because you get way silkier, way shinier hair with legitimate products. The first product you need to take a look at is your shampoo. You need to make 100% sure that you aren't using a 3-in-1 shampoo, which can be tricky because they're not labeled as 3-in-1s. Traditional shampoos that have been around for decades, like Pantene, Herbal Essence, Aussie, and stuff in that price range, are meant for beginners who don't use any other hair products besides shampoo and conditioner. They're meant to be your entire hair routine, aka get your hair clean, add moisture to it, and serve as a smoothing product. And that sounds good at first until you realize they do a terrible job of all three things. The shampoo is extremely watered down so it doesn't get your hair clean. The conditioner is mostly silicones so it doesn't add any moisture and leaves your hair with a layer of buildup that's supposed to help smooth it. But really it just weighs your hair down so you have to wash it again the next day, which is great for these shampoo companies because you go through the stuff way faster than you should. So if you're still using a 3-in-1 drugstore shampoo, make sure to try a professional shampoo that gets your hair clean without the residue because there's a minus 15% silky smooth penalty if you use a 3-in-1 drugstore shampoo. All right, so remember how I said shampoo, conditioner, and leave-in conditioner were the most important hair care products out there? You still will not be able to get that 100% silky smooth hair without hair oil. This is absolutely mandatory. It brings your hair to a completely different level of silkiness and smoothness. Shockingly, hair brands have gotten really good at making these. A modern quality hair oil is usually a blend of oil, with silicones. The oil adds moisture to your hair, making it even healthier, which brings out more natural shine, especially like around your ends. And the silicones make your hair look super smooth because they fill in all the little gaps and imperfection between the scales of your cuticle. And remember, smooth cuticles means smooth hair. This is like the cherry on top. When you put it in your hair, you won't be able to hold back a smile because it polishes everything up. Leslie's hair before hair oil looks like this. And then after oil, her hair looks like this.
That's what 100% looks like, folks.
It's the missing ingredient for a ton of women out there who are struggling to smooth out all those little frizzies they still have after they're done styling. Oil is the answer. It will get you to that 100% silky smooth result that you're looking for. But if you feel like you aren't that good at hair and maybe styling isn't your strong suit, there's another step you can take to put all of this on easy mode. It's always funny when people comment, Chris, all your stuff is for straight hair. I have curly hair, so none of this works for me. I always shake my head because Leslie has some of the curliest, frizziest hair on the entire planet. Curly coarse hair is actually my specialty. I came up learning from Cuban and Dominican stylists, working on the curliest hair you ever seen. People just think that Leslie's hair is straight because I use the hacks in this video to make it that way. But let's just say that Leslie didn't have me to do her hair. It would actually be pretty hard for her to get it straight.
Not with these tips.
So one of the things that I would recommend to her if she was struggling is a keratin treatment. For some reason, people get really afraid of keratins. I'm not exactly sure why. Maybe it's because some people do it at home and they have bad results, but anything at home will give you bad results. If you go to a stylist who's experienced in doing keratins, this is one of the safest things you can possibly do in hair. A good keratin will transform frizzy, hard to style hair into hair that's easily straightened and silky smooth. But there is one drawback to this. You can't go curly while you still have keratin. Its entire job is to make your hair straighter and smoother, and to do that, it has to weaken the natural curl structure of your hair. But most women are totally fine with that trade-off because the entire point of keratin is getting straight hair, not curly hair. So as long as you're cool with that, keratin is a great option for getting rid of the frizz. This, with the other tips we talked about, will finally get you to the 100% silky smooth hair that we're looking for. All right, so if you're still trying to find the right product matches for your hair type, check out my recommended product list. It has a hair type quiz and walks you through everything. Stay safe out there, rebels. Have a good one.